people be born racist? There is no yes or no answer to that question. You have to remember, or you have to know, that energy is penetrating. Everything is energy. Energy penetrates, it's absorbent, and everything is energy. Especially the energies that are not tangible, the emotions, your thoughts, their frequency, and their vibrating frequencies. Now, when a child is in its mother's womb, that child is absorbing every frequency and every kind of energy that is in the mother's environment. The mother's frequency, the father's frequency, if he's around, and the whole environment in general. The nature of the environment. That child is going to be also born into that very environment most of the times. So that energy that is emitted from in the environment, it passed down to the womb of the mother to the child, right? So the child absorbs this frequency. Then the child gets born into the world, and the child born with its own intentions. And we like to believe that babies aren't smart or babies can't think, but this is not true, because the baby has a soul, and the baby has consciousness. So when the child gets born into the world, now the child sees its surrounding, sees his mother and his father. Then the people who look more like the child sees itself and see the people around him that looks more like him. The child forms preferences for that the people who looks like him or her. Then when the child goes out in the world and sees people that don't look like him, that energy that the child is born with, if the child was born, if it was a racist environment, or if the mother and the father and the environment was emitting a lot of energy that is associated with bigotry and racist thoughts, the baby or the child, that energy is still within the child, or is still with the child, and that energy would give rise to emotions that will and thoughts that will help to shape the child's opinions of people who don't look like him or her, and opinions of people who look like him or her. So that frequency is the same frequency that the mother had or the father had, and it passes it down to the child, and the child can now that energy influences the child's thoughts and feelings after coming into this world and observing this world and forming opinions, forming preferences for what it likes or don't like, because most people prefer people who look like them. If people were to be honest, most people prefer people who look like them. So this child will go through life with that energy. So it's not that the child is really born racist per se, but that energy that comes with the emotions associated with bigotry and hate towards racial group or towards any kind of politics, that child would have it within them, and then that child can grow feeling those same emotions, and from the emotions come the actions, and from, you know, the actions you create a whole lot more politics. So can people be born racist? Yes and no. Okay, so I want to add that because this energy that the child came into this life with was associated with bigotry or racist feelings and strong prejudice, passed down from the environment that a mother was in, or the mother's frequency and the frequency from the environment, which was heavy on bigotry and racial hate, or any kind of frequency for that matter. The child entered this life with that frequency and goes through life forming opinions of people who look different from the child, or different from the people that looks like him, because this frequency still has within it the power to create those emotions, the emotions associated with racial hate and bigotry. Let me also add that everybody has intentions coming into this life. You know, you could call them pre-birth intentions. Now, a child, or a soul rather, or a spirit might choose, consciousness might choose to come into this life to experience either end of racial politics, either the victim or the perpetrator, or they want to experience what it is to come into this life as a really racist person. So the child might choose a situation, it choose the parent that would help to foster that very intentions by choosing the parents that maybe who are racist, or who have very strong racial hate. So a lot of the times, you know, well, a lot of times, it's all the time we have intentions come into this life. So that's another way that you could say a baby could be born racist. For the really open-minded people, this is for you. Well, you're open-minded and you know a little bit about pre-birth intentions and intentions coming to this life. People choose their situations because they know a certain situation will help to create a lot of possibilities and probabilities, you know. So a soul might choose to come into life as choosing parents that will help them to create that situation.